Okay, we are recording now. So, for those watching the recording, this is probably going to be really interesting. And I'm just going to give you these basic social media tips and just some information about regarding just it's not going to be in depth in one platform or another. It's going to literally be just the basics of it. And um, as you can see, I have my little deacon here on my lap. He refused to go to bed tonight. Daddy's not here to help, so he is going to help me with giving this training. So I'm just going to go ahead and get it started. I apologize ahead of time if things get kind of crazy with my toddler. So um, social media. So social media can be very toxic. It can be kind of negative, as we all know. But it is also a huge blessing. And it's a huge blessing for us in this line of work that we are in as coaches, because it's a way for us to reach people and expand our network a lot faster than if we were doing this just like door-to-door style, which I don't know about you, but the thought of that gives me major anxiety. I would not like to do that. Not that I don't like to see and talk to people face to face. I absolutely love, especially when it's like you guys, like as my team, I want to get us all together and I want to be able to have that kind of closeness and relationship with people. But I'm also very like reserved and introverted. So that initial like conversation would be a lot different for me in person than it wouldn't be in social media. And you can reach people from all over the country. And now that the Beachbody coaching opportunity is available in the UK, and we've been available in Canada as well. But the UK, that's a whole new like group of people. It's like that just completely expanded our network even further. And even just here in the US, there's thousands and thousands of people, billions of people. Well, not billions, but thousands, hundreds of thousands of people that need our help just here in the US. So it's a really good way for us to do that, and it's a good platform for us to have a voice and have the ability to share our story. So that's why I say to be the light in a place that can be cluttered with negativity. And then also, I wanted to note here at the beginning that social media is ever evolving and it's ever changing. Let me talk. So that's something that we need to just keep in mind, is to be flexible about it. Here, take a drink. No. Do you want a cracker? Yes. Okay, hold on. We just need to be flexible and just keep in mind that social media is forever and for always, as long as it's around, is going to be changing, and it's going to be something that we just have to be aware of. So the first slide here, I'm just going to talk about, just getting started when it comes to using social media. And now that, it is something that can be your like storefront, it's going to be your place to, do your business. And so you need to, first of all, find a platform and choose a platform that is most comfortable to you. So, that doesn't mean that one is better than another. It just means what you find most, just where you want to put all your focus. Now, definitely Facebook and or Instagram needs to be in the mix somewhere, just because, as we know, those are like super, super popular. They're like the most used social media platforms. And but you don't feel like you have to master both yet. I started all of my business just on my Facebook personal page. I dabbled a little bit in Facebook like page or business page, which is different than your profile page. And just kind of I played around with both of those platforms, and my personal page. My personal page was definitely where it kicked off for me, where I felt more comfortable. And then now I'm definitely getting more involved in Instagram, and I really, really like Instagram a lot. And it's definitely kind of the hot spot right now, as far as, especially just with other coaches in the network that I've seen that have given trainings on what's working for them. Instagram is really great. Especially with those Instagram stories. I know Facebook technically has stories now too. I don't think they've really blown up as much as Instagram stories, but that doesn't mean they won't. So just kind of be aware of all the different Deacon, be aware of all the different platforms out there and what you can do on each platform. You know, and then I do have the little icons of Pinterest, because there are some coaches that I do know utilize their Pinterest as a way to network with people, because Pinterest is social media. It's a way that you can, you know, get in contact with people. And then also Snapchat. I know Snapchat's kind of, it's kind of fallen off a little bit. It's not exactly as relevant. It's a little harder to, what's wrong? Okay. Snapchat's a little harder in a business standpoint to really engage with people, especially new people. You know, with Instagram, you can easily reach brand new contacts, but Snapchat, you kind of have to already be friends. But that doesn't mean you can't use it. If you really like Snapchat, if it's working for you, then find a way for it to work for you and stick to it. So then my next little point here is to make sure you do some profile cleanup. So that means you want to make sure that your profile and your cover picture, you know, which is mostly going to be Facebook and Snap and Instagram. You need to make sure that your profile picture is a clear, good close-up picture of just you, rather than like your entire family or like you and your sister where people can't even tell who's who kind of thing. You know, we love your kids. Your kids are adorable. Your pets are adorable. Your husband and you are the most adorable couple ever. But like when it comes to it being your business and this is your storefront, you really want to, you know, make sure people know who you are when they first visit your page. And then same thing with cover photo. You just want to make sure it's something that is clean. It's something that best represents you as a person. You know, your cover photo can be like a picture of your family or of you and your kids. You know, if that's something that you want people to know you as, like as a mom, or I know when I first started coaching, it was very popular. So this was 4 years ago. It was very popular for people to make super like insane, awesome graphics that they made as their profile pictures that had like, it was a collage and it had all these things on it. But I feel like that whole like picture perfect look is not so popular anymore, and I'm super thankful for that. It may roll back around someday, but right now it's not, and I'm very thankful for that because I'm not very creative when it comes to making graphics. So anyways, you know, you just want to make sure it's something that that looks nice whenever you visit your page. And then you want to make sure that you make your profile public. So I know some people get kind of like iffy about this. But what's really cool, I know specifically with Facebook, is like if you're kind of weird about or feel weird about posting pictures of your kids, you can actually choose. You want in the chair? No. You can actually choose before you post the picture, like if only friends see that picture or something, like, you know, I think it has you choose groups of people that can see it. So that's really nice if that's something that that kind of you're uncomfortable with right now. But, you know, making it public is just going to make it all that more easier for people to find you. And then the About Me or the description section of whatever platform you're using, you definitely want to make sure it just gives a little about me, literally just a little story about who you are, what you want people to know about you whenever they visit your page. Don't put any kind of like sales links in there. I don't know. To me, it's kind of the same thing with like not putting sales links in your actual post, because it just kind of has that salesy vibe, and people, I know it's your storefront, but in my experience, and trust me, if there's anything on this presentation that I say, like, don't do this, I've done it. So, you know, it's one of those things that you just kind of learn from, and people don't use those links. And, you know, I guess it's different if you have some kind of like form, like if you say to contact me by my email, you can click this link, and maybe it's a link that takes them to your email address. Or if you have like a form, like on my Instagram, and I'm trying to be as basic as possible. I don't want to get off in too many tangents, but, you know, on my Instagram, I have a Linktree link, hyperlink in my Instagram description. And it's basically, you know, I tell people it's a place for me to direct them, go to the link in my bio. Oh, I say, go to the link in my bio and it'll take you to a couple forms. And they're just like some Google Doc forms for them to fill out so that I can get some more information about them, whether it's them wanting to join the challenge group or if they're interested in the coaching opportunity. It's just kind of a, it's not an actual sales link, if that makes sense. It's not a place for them to click to go buy something. It's just it's a link for me to get to know them better. So if you do have any kind of links, that I would definitely limit it to that. I already said make public. So, and then also you want to make sure that you make your Instagram account a business account. It takes like 2 seconds to do if you just go into your settings. So what this does is it just allows you some really cool tools to be able to look at the demographics of how many people are looking at your posts, how many people are looking at your stories. You can see how many people view your stories. You can see, if there's certain posts throughout the certain times of the day that are getting more reach than others. It just gives you a lot of that information that you would want to know for someone running a business. And then something that I do specifically on Facebook is clean up your timeline. So, throughout the day, I'll just kind of do a quick little glance at my timeline, and I'll have my mom tag me in some like sad story of a toddler who choked on a sucker and like almost died or something. And it's like, just like stuff like that, or stupid memes that my sister tags me in. So it shows up on my timeline, and that's fine. That's what social media is about too, is, sharing stuff like that with your family. But I will just like take a glance at my timeline every once in a while throughout the day and just hide it from my timeline. So I'm still tagged in it if I want to see it, or, or whatever, but I'll hide it from my timeline. So when people go to look at my Facebook timeline, all they see are the things that I've shared, all of my posts. So they don't have to like scroll through a bunch of stuff that other people have shared, if that makes sense. So, that's just some like basic cleanup things just to keep in mind, just getting started, and just being cognizant of what your profile looks like. And then another thing is to be consistent and reliable. So, obviously you don't want to be on your social media every day, all day long, but you do want to be present every day. And I think rule of thumb is, and this has actually changed since I started coaching too, which I'm thankful for, because it used to be post 3 to 5 times a day, which was a lot, but it's definitely, especially with the use of stories, it's gotten to where if you just have 2 to 3 really good posts a day, I usually on my Instagram have 1 to 2, just very, some good content of something that I want to share with value. And then I share a lot in my Instagram stories all day long, just throughout my day, just sharing different things about my workouts and the meals I'm eating and mom life and all that kind of stuff. Like, it's really just raw, real, behind the scenes type of thing on my stories. But then I'll have 1 to 2 good, like just regular posts on my or on my Instagram page. And then with Facebook, I do maybe 2 to 3 posts, and I always have something related to Beachbody, meaning either a fitness post, just sharing my story and my journey, like right now with 80-Day Obsession, for example, or I'll give some kind of like coaching post about what coaching's done for me. That kind of thing, I'll give that kind of content, and I'm reliable I'm consistent with that every single day, because you want to make people who come to your page know that you're open and that you're someone that they can rely on to show up. You're not gonna like it if you go to Starbucks at 2 p.m. and they're supposed to be open, but no one's there and they're closed, but their sign says they're open. So just kind of keep that in mind. You just want to make sure that people know where to find you and that they can rely on you. Deacon, you're something else, dude. Okay. That got kind of like cut off at the bottom a little bit. Okay, so now we're talking, yeah, that's a cup. We're talking about what to post. And now this is something that I could probably, like, I'm going to be as brief as I can. This is something that each of these points could probably be broken down like even further. But in a nutshell, you just want to share you. You want to, a good place to start with this is to create an interest list and narrow it down to about 5 main things about you that you want to share. So, you know, just to give examples, like for me, the things that I share about are always my fitness and wellness, nutrition, you know, all like kind of wrapped up into one. I share about my faith, and just, you know, how I'm a Christian and my faith, my relationship with God. I share about the fact that I am a mom of 2. I share about how I'm a wife. So I do a lot of like things about mine and Boone's relationship and our marriage. And I share about my love for coffee, wine, and peanut butter. Like those things are just kind of like, I literally, it was not very intentional, but people like tag me in things that are like a stupid like peanut butter meme, and somebody said, they tag me in it and say that it made them think of me. So it's just like really funny how you just kind of start creating that niche, or that that it's a brand that people remember you for. So, you know, some other examples are people who really, really, really love Disney. So they do a lot of, whether they go to Disney World or not, like maybe they just like Disney movies in general. So that's what they, you know, they like to talk about that kind of thing a lot. And it just kind of becomes part of their brand. You know, maybe they wear a lot of Disney t-shirts or something. Oh, and that's another thing that I share a lot about is I really love graphic tees. So I buy and wear a lot of graphic t-shirts or workout tanks. So just kind of start thinking of that kind of stuff. You know, maybe there's certain movies that you like, or there's, you know, hobbies that you like to do, or maybe you're a crafty, or you like to shop, or you like to, you know, shop at a thrift shops or something. You know, just kind of think about that stuff. Maybe you're a really good cook and you like to share recipes, or make a list and then kind of stick to some five or so main topics. And so treat your social media like a journal. And I know in some ways that this can be kind of, sometimes people are like, oh my gosh, this is not your diary. Like, you just have to be, you know, aware of the things that you're posting, which we could talk about more. But treat it like it's your journal, like you're telling your story. You're telling people, you know, kind of like you're blogging almost. Oh my goodness. So you're kind of blogging almost. So just treat it like your journal. And then also think of those 5 main things about you, kind of like magazine headlines. So there's actually a really good training. There's actually a really good training out there I can find and share with you guys, that kind of this one coach who's really good at explaining that, the branding of yourself. So I'll find that and share it with you guys. And then be aware of your photos. So in the next slide, I'm going to show some things that I did like when I was a new coach, that are examples of, you know, things that were not done really well, but you just want to make sure you want to make sure that your photos are clear and crisp and eye-catching. You want them to be something that someone, you know, especially on Instagram, because Instagram is so visual. I definitely use the same pictures on my Instagram and on my Facebook. Like I don't ever change it up. Like if I have a picture and I like it, I'm going to make sure it's, you know, very eye-catching and a very clear picture for Instagram. And then I use the same one on Facebook. But you just want to, you know, just kind of be aware of that. And there's a lot of things you can do to, oh shoot, how about you hop down and get it? There's a lot of things you can do to reach that, to reach some clear pictures, such as, something you can do is use natural light. So taking a picture outside, taking pictures outside is like ideal, or in front of a window. You know, obviously when it's freezing and raining outside, you don't want to take pictures then, but whenever it's, you know, sunny, or you're just like by a window and there's sun coming in the window, take pictures there. That's something that I kind of struggle with, is because my basement is where I work out, and I work out early in the morning, so it's dark. So I use a ring light. I use my flash, or what I do is I will take, like on the weekends, like on Saturday afternoon, I will just take a bunch of pictures, and I will change my outfits, or I'll take pictures in different locations, and I'll wear different, like, hat, no hat, sunglasses, like whatever, just do different things so you have a bunch of pictures that can be used for later, and you can clean them up and use different filters. And this is something that can definitely be a whole new call, like about the different apps that I use to clean up my pictures, and the different filters that I use and stuff like that. So just be aware of your photos, and then you want to be well-rounded and not one-track minded. So as long as you're sticking to those 5 things that we talked about, like those interests that you have and those things that kind of make up your brand, then you should be fine. You just don't want to be only posting about your workouts and that's it. You obviously want to also post about, because that's not all that you are. You're not just your workouts. There's more to you, and you want people to know more about you. You want them to know everything, everything else there is to know about you, for a lack of better terms. But you just want to make sure that you're not just one-track minded posting about the same thing, because it's going to end up becoming white noise. Telling your story and speaking to the old you want to be relatable. So something that I do a lot is whenever I'm drafting up what I'm going to say, or I'm like typing up a caption for my picture, I'll kind of do the what test. What is someone going to take from this? Are they going to be inspired? Are they going to be informed? Are they going to think it's funny? Are they going to, relate to it in any way? And just think about the person that you were before you discovered Beachbody. Like, think about the old you, and how you were feeling before you discovered Beachbody, and speak to that person, because that's the person that you're trying to connect with, is the person that needs this like you needed this. I think about the insecure, overweight new mom that I was 4 years. Don't touch it. Here, do you want this? That I was 4 years ago, and how I felt. I just keep channeling those feelings that I had back before I discovered Beachbody, and before I got to the point that I am now. And, that's the person I want to talk to. And so I just tell my story, and I tell my story the same, like I tell the same story almost every day, just in a different way. And that's something that you'll just kind of you'll get better at the more you do it. The people that are your people that connect with you, they don't care how many times they've seen you post about your story, because they want to hear it. Okay, so no negativity. It's okay to post your struggles. You absolutely should, because that makes you relatable, is to post when things are maybe not going so well, you're struggling with something. You don't have to air your dirty laundry all over the place. Make sure you put a positive spin on it, like maybe talk about what you're struggling with or how you're struggling, but then you want to give a positive spin about how you're going to overcome it. Give a little sunshine to the end of the post after you talk about something like that you're struggling with. But you also, of course, don't want to go to the other extreme and just be a highlight reel and just talk about how amazing your life is, because we know that we all struggle with something. And then ask questions, because asking questions is going to prompt people to engage with you. Huh? Hold on. It's going to prompt people to want to engage with you and answer your questions. They want to give their opinions and their input. And then your call to actions. Deeki, hold on. Here. Look. Literally giving him an umbrella. So you want to give your call to actions, which we will get more in depth in what that is whenever we're talking about inviting in a different call. But call to actions, that's going to be like, where you say at the end, go to the link in my bio, or reach out for more information, or something like that, whenever you're inviting, like maybe it's a post that's promoting a group you're having. So you want to have those weekly. Sometimes there's some days that I literally like every other day, or there's weeks every other day that I'm posting a call to action. You just want to make sure you're giving some value and telling stories with that. And then at the bottom there, it just says stories and Instagram. Stories on Instagram or Facebook. And I kind of already talked a little bit about that, about how it's just your kind of behind the scenes. situation. So I'm kind of running out of time. I think I just have like 8 minutes. So here's some things that are some don'ts, and absolutely do not, like, if you've ever done anything like this, do not feel like you're like bad or a failure or whatever. Like, I'm not trying to do that, but these are just some posts that I went back and pulled from like way back in 2015 when I was still a new coach. And I just want to talk about how these are just not ideal. So the farthest one there on the left is me, and I'm holding a Team Beachbody Coach coffee cup that I got for Hitting Success Club. So it's it's awesome that it was a gift I was given for reaching a goal. But the picture itself, like the selfie is like, the coloring is horrible. The filter is just like way too bright, and just the angle's not great. Like, obviously you can tell that that's not a clear, crisp picture. And then in the top there is my Shakeology, and how disgusting does that look? Like, that just looks so gross. And it's just like I don't know. It's just bad. Like, everything about that picture, you can see, like, there's nothing visually stimulating about that at all. Like, no one's going to stop and want to see what that is. They're just going to think it looks gross. So, and then the picture there in the middle, I'm holding up the T25 DVDs with my P90X sports bra. Like, that just screams Beachbody Coach. And people are going to see that and be like, oh, she just wants to sell T25 to me. And like, that's not something that someone's going to be inspired by. I don't even know, like, I couldn't tell you what my caption said, but by this picture, no one's even going to stop to read the caption. They're just going to be like, oh, Beachbody Coach. Especially now, like, oh, Deacon. He's spraying cleaner. Yeah, so people are not going to stop to look at that. Sorry guys. Hold on. Let me mute. Okay, I just have one more slide and I'll finish up. I appreciate your guys' patience. And then that one, the one on the far right, it's just, let me move this out of the way. It's just a lot happening there. First of all, my flexing selfie is not a good angle at all. Like, I should have technically been facing the other way so that the sunlight was in my face. The background is bad. The no excuses, like, random bright text at the top is just like cluttered. And then again, I'm like hiding behind the Beachbody products. Like, people know, they'll see that and they'll just want to like Google it and find out what it is. Like, we are selling ourselves as coaches. We're not selling Beachbody products. We are selling our experience and what has worked for us and what our story is. And that's what people connect to. People don't connect to a picture of T25 and a bag of Shakeology. They might wonder, what the heck is that? But they're not going to connect to you as a coach to want to sign up with you and want to work with you. And so, and then just like, oh, sorry guys. And then there's the random quote, like, that's fine. If there's a quote that, or like a meme, then that you like, then just post the meme. Like, you just post that, or take the quote and put it as your caption under a nice picture. But the whole like collage thing is, it gets a little cluttered. Okay, so here's some do's. So I've definitely come a long way in the picture taking department. I'm by no means perfect at all, but I've definitely learned how to make my pictures a little more appealing. So here in the far left, you can see where I'm holding my Shakeology, but you cannot tell at all what it is. It looks yummier. It's like a fun green, like creamy looking, yummy full cup of shake. So that has led people to want to know what it is. And the picture's taken outside. It's at a better angle for selfie taking. And I think in the caption, I actually did mention something about, you know, like, oh, by the way, like at the very end, like I told some kind of story, and at the very end I said, by the way, my superfood shake is like fueling me for whatever. You know, I made a comment about how I'm drinking this superfood shake. But I never once said anything about like, here's Shakeology, like buy this or anything like that. And then like the selfie in the middle, that's just showing like I used some filters to like blur out, not filters, but I use an app to blur out the background to kind of make my face pop more. And it just kind of shows that angle that like is, you know, a little more appealing than like the ones in the previous, like this one, or, you know, it's just a little more appealing for people to really see me and my personality and who I am. And then the one with me in the hat, that was another Beachbody like Success Club gift, but I feel like I kind of showcased it a little better, and I'm pretty sure my caption was, you know, you come a long way. You learn how to caption things and tell your story. And I feel like this just kind of shows how I was rewarded this gift better than the coffee cup situation. And then over here on the bottom right, it's kind of hard to see, but that cup I'm holding, it has Energize in it. And I was getting ready to go do my workout, and I, you know, told some kind of story about how my day was off to a rough start, and I was like totally slept in and missed my alarm and all this stuff. And I talked about how my natural pre-workout was going to help me kick it into gear or something like that, you know, and it just tells that story. I stood in front of a window, so it had better lighting. I'm really not crazy about how you can see the clutter in the background, but you know, I was kind of in a hurry, but still you can just like see my whole body. It's not like an awkward, weird angled selfie. And, let's see, what else was I going to say? I do, you know, when it comes to the fitness pictures, I did kind of say before that I like to take those in bulk, or I'll make sure I have like a flash to really make it show up better. So I think I'm about to run out of time. So, and I have this baby who's driving me nuts. But I hope I covered a lot of questions that you might have about social media, and I will be posting some things in the group later tonight or tomorrow to just kind of reiterate what I've talked about tonight, and you can post some questions there. So, I would ask for questions, but I don't think we'll have enough time to cover them. So go ahead and just post those in the group if you have any. And then I will get to them as soon as I get this crazy monster to bed.